And welcome back, everybody. This is Movies and Beyond. I'm Callum. That is Kyle. Kyle, how are we doing today?
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm doing good.
that's right. Now, guys, you haven't seen us all week. We are being very careful with what we look at on the internet. We are a week out from seeing Deadpool and Wolverine for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want that spoiled for us. So next week is going to be very light on videos like this. Me and Kyle have got a few special things coming for you. And also, we will probably maybe sit down and speak about House of the Dragon. We didn't this week, but we'll probably get a little format together so we can just, boom, jump on, speak about House of the Dragon, upload the video, and then that's it. But yeah, next week, though, we will make up for it because we won't do a video until out of the theatre reaction for Deadpool and Wolverine. We'll do a review for Deadpool and Wolverine. We're going to be staying up and covering Comic-Con when that's happening. And then we'll do a spoiler discussion for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yeah! Don't worry, I will feed and water Kyle throughout this experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, there's not been much uploaded because obviously we are having to do some.
There's been stuff as well.
Yeah.
But I don't want to risk it this close.
The edits as well that I'm doing, I am still doing them, obviously. I have one that's basically ready to go. It just needs like finalizing and then rendering, and then it's out. So that'll be out tomorrow now. And obviously we was going to cover Logan, but we've both agreed that
we've been going through some reshoots.
We're going through some reshoots, and I feel like it just, for me at least, when I'm editing this, I just don't know how I can make that film fit our video format that we like to do.
Yeah.
If you've seen them, if you've seen the videos, you know what they're like. We talked about the first 3 X-Men films. You know, kind of very unscripted, but still quite. I enjoyed them.
This is about we're getting better and better every time. You know, we filmed 4 videos in one day, and there wasn't scripted, but we had notes that we were following. Now we're semi-scripted. Obviously, we go on our little tangents and stuff like that.
It's more of like a guideline for the video format. So it's not scripted necessarily. It's just this is what we talk about. This is what we talk about. Instead of Callum instead of Callum reading out the entire fucking film.
and next mush, Wolverine does this.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm excited for you guys to see that tomorrow. I know Kyle's been working hard on it. So yeah. Anyway, let's get into it for probably the last time until we see Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh yeah. Alien Romulus. We have just got a new trailer.
What you said spells then?
What did you think I said?
I'm not saying. Alien
Romulus. Alien Romulus. We've just got a new trailer for it. I am going to start this with asking Kyle what he thought of it, because the theme on the show has been Kyle has not liked any of the trailers so far, so I'm actually very curious to see what he thought about this trailer.
I'll say this. I don't know. I'm a big Alien guy. I love the original 2. I really enjoy Prometheus. And I'm just sad that they, basically, took a U-turn and kind of derailed the franchise and the trilogy that they wanted to sort of do with these characters and this sort of, timeline. Obviously, it was because of the fan backlash that we had. It was just... It's annoying, really, because, I get it. Fans wanted to see the Alien. I understand that. But this is like... this was supposed to be a trilogy that's not about that.
Yeah.
They went in anyways. They did Alien Covenant. It turned out pretty horrible. I don't like that film one bit. And then I heard that they were obviously... I heard out of just while we were filming, actually, I think it was, that they were shooting Alien Romulus not too long ago. And I thought, okay, cool. You've kind of lost me at this point. It's kind of in the water for me. I don't really care. The first trailer came out, anyways. It was okay. The big issue I had with it was it just felt like they were remaking the first Alien film,
Yeah.
which in a way can be a good thing. It's like you're taking it back to its roots. It's what people kind of, majority of the fan base, I'll say, wanted. But at the same time, it's like, what's the fucking point in doing this film then? It's just like a remaster or a remake, if you will. It's like a soft reboot, let's say that.
Yeah.
And the trailers haven't really done it for me. I've not really been excited for this film. Yeah, I'll go see it, but again, not really holding my, breath for it. This trailer, I don't know if it's because we've had sort of a mixed bash of trailers lately for other projects and films.
And this is
but this one was really good.
Oh, all right. I was going to say, this is where you build up the anticipation. You go, it's still shit.
This is really good. It's a really good trailer. It's just, I feel like it shows way too much now.
Okay.
That's like my only gripe with it. It's near perfect. It's exciting.
This is coming out pretty soon as well. I think we're not looking past Deadpool and Wolverine, and it's like, oh, this is like 2 weeks after that.
Yeah.
So
I'm more so looking forward to this film now. I still stand with what I said. They should have continued with the Prometheus stuff. Obviously, we're not getting that now. They want to, do this sort of soft reboot, if you will.
Do the Fede Alvarez.
Yeah. I do really like the premise of it, though, where it's not, it seems like they're going there to sort of like steal some, equipment or whatever from the ship.
Break into a place and steal some shit.
Yeah, I like the premise of that. It does change it up a bit instead of following it from like the corporation and like this certain squad of people who are professionals or whatever. This is different, and I like that we get to see. It looks like it might be Earth, if I'm not wrong. I'm pretty sure that's like the first time we actually see Earth in any of these films, so that's really cool to see. Yeah, again though, it just feels like you've got this premise, you've got this nice setup.
Yeah.
And then it's just, oh no, it's basically Alien. When it boils down to it.
Most good Alien films, when it boils down to it, are basically Alien.
No, but I'm saying
quote of the day.
There's nothing here after sort of like the launch of the plot of this film, wherever it may be. I just feel like it's going to be kind of same. I mean, the horror stuff is going to be great, don't get me wrong. You get to see the facehugger do its thing and really get in there. I don't doubt the horror and the gore, but it's just the plot.
Well, I'm not. Fede Alvarez has come out and said, this film will traumatise people. Now, breaking news, director says his scary film is scary. But you got to take it at face value. I believe him when he says it. He's made some, horror-ish films. That's his sort of deal.
I'll say this. I hope there's some surprises in this film.
Yeah.
Because if there isn't any, I'm going to probably be left disappointed leaving the cinema. I think I'll be left gobsmacked, like absolutely shocked and shook. But I'll still be left quite disappointed.
Yeah. Now look, I love this trailer. I've liked all these trailers. They've really been getting me into it. And I'm going to continue and say what I say, which you don't agree with me on this, but I'm going to keep saying it. To me, this is the Prey of the Alien franchise.
I completely disagree.
You'd completely disagree with me, and that is fine.
Because I feel like Prey took it somewhere else.
Now, and I'm getting more of that vibe, though, from this trailer. It's taking it somewhere else. It's like, oh, these are thieves. These are the Marines. They aren't going in there equipped for this shit. Even the Marines weren't equipped for this shit. So that's where the horror element really comes into this. It's like, oh, fuck. Prey is literally just Predator in a different time period. And that film is fucking amazing.
I'll say this. I think this is my sort of dream version of say, like, the next Alien film. If they were going to, go down on this xenomorph.
I won't go down
I feel
on
like
the xenomorph.
I think the way to take it up, because you had it in a space station, again, it was isolated. You had it, obviously, on a planet that was like, it was more of a base kind of thing. Why not take it to like an urban environment? Take it to somewhere new. I mean, look at, A Quiet Place, Day One.
Yeah.
That took it to an urban environment with these creatures
Alien
and
in
with
the
new
city.
characters. It works. It works. Obviously, do it in like a future sci-fi kind of setting. I feel like that's where they should
we
have
already got
taken this.
Predator in the city.
Which one?
Predator 2. Oh wow, a joke like
right.
that. Oh, now we're cooking. Yep,
Yeah.
fucking hell, it didn't take long for the Epstein jokes to start rolling.
Okay.
Speaking of rolling,
Yeah.
should we roll on to our next topic? Because,
Yeah.
Alien Romulus trailer, I really liked it, loved it. Kyle's actually kind of excited now, so that makes me more excited. Because there's no one I want to see an Alien film with than Kyle.
Yes.
Most films, actually. You're pretty good to watch films with. You follow the rules.
Well, I don't speak and go on my phone.
Yep.
So all you cunts should stop
The
doing.
basic rules.
Yeah.
Oh, I swear to God, if I see someone doing it on Deadpool and Wolverine, that is not a time to be fucking around. I will stand up and headbutt them.
Because of the audience that we're going with, and the film is R-rated, so you're not going to get any sort of younger people in there. I feel like if anyone does that, they're getting shouted at.
Yeah, it's the fans, isn't it?
Have you
seen that video when The Force Awakens came out and that flash went off on the guy's phone?
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's gonna end up like that.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah. Anyway, the Russo brothers. Apparently, they are going to be coming back to direct Avengers 5 and 6. Now, I've just watched a clip from the Happy Sad Confused podcast. They've said they're not doing it. They said there's been no talks. Russo brothers, stop lying to us. They've said, would we do it? Yeah. Is Secret Wars our favourite comic? Yes. And I don't think they want to ruin the surprise before Comic-Con, because I think that's what they're going to do. Look, there was a big release of what Marvel's going to drop at Comic-Con, allegedly, and these guys wasn't attached to it, but a writer and director for Avengers 5 and 6 was a thing. And you don't save something like that for Comic-Con unless it's these guys. They're going to come out, big bang. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I know you said they didn't speak about it, but I mean, like, even sort of Rotten Tomatoes, that's where I saw this news, was from Rotten Tomatoes via the Hollywood Reporter, is that they were in talks to direct
the
5th and 6th. Yeah. So yeah, I think you're right about that.
And that's coming from the Hollywood Reporter as well, a pretty reputable news source. They don't just post anything. And look, it's Andrew Garfield in No Way Home. Oh, I'm not doing it. But, Now, look, we reported that Sean Levy might be doing it. And apparently he dropped out to focus on his Star Wars film that he's doing. So, okay, fair enough. Why is my work group chat going off? 1 minute. I'm just going to tell them all to shut up.
They're probably trying to get you to talk about the boys with them.
That is it.
Yeah.
So, lost my train of thought.
Sean Levy.
Yeah, Sean Levy.
He's working on Star Wars.
He's doing his own Star Wars film, but from what I've heard is Sean Levy has also got his pick of any Marvel project. If he wants to do the next X-Men film, he can do it. Now, we've said for a long time, we want to see the Russos back to do at least one of these Avengers films. I think we'd both be happy with it. We know they're working the system well. They're working the Kevin Feige system, because sometimes that gets criticised. They're like, I don't really get to do what I want to do. Well, no, you brought in to make, a product and do it a certain way and add a little bit of your flair to it. which is what the Marvel films are, which some people don't agree with. But then again, even though their filmography after Endgame, the Russo brothers, hasn't been the greatest, doing them Avengers films and Captain America Civil War and Winter Soldier opened a lot of doors for them. So
I think definitely if these guys came back, you know, you'd hear all the Marvel's back, and you'd hear all the praise and the hype.
No, I think the first thing you're hearing, I think from us, we love this. We've been saying this for ages, bring the Russos back. I think one thing you'd see is that Thanos meme, and you could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you?
I've already seen it.
Have you already seen it? Well, there we go then. It's already out there. But look, there's going to be two different ways of looking at it. It's like, oh, they can't get any fresh directors in, so let's go back to the old ones that did the Avengers films. It's still a great option. It's still a great option, though. It's still a great choice. If they go back to them. Now, look, there's other names out there. There's other people that can do it. I think one we've been saying a lot is Ryan Coogler of the Black Panther films, but then we kind of want him to do X-Men more. There's a lot of people who can do it. But Marvel right now, I don't think they're in a phase of taking risks.
Yeah, playing it safe. Make sure they... Yeah.
Playing it safe, and look, I would rather them play it safe and get a film the quality of Avengers Infinity War than go out there and get, you know, someone like Chloe Zhao, who is an amazing director. People didn't like her take on Eternals. That's fair enough. Maybe they need to... I know it sounds bad and we shouldn't be saying this because we love film, but stop trying to go for like these visionary directors. Because look, when Taika got let off the chain a bit, you know, we both agree. You know, I don't know if you're going to agree with me. Thor Love and Thunder is a bit overhated. It's not as bad as everyone says it is. But can you blame Taika for making Thor Ragnarok and everyone going, this is the best Thor movie, more of that, and then he does exactly what people wanted him to, and then they've gone, too much. Too much. I never want to see anything you direct ever again. Because the fan base will flip like that. It's not, look at what they've done in the past, it's what have you done for me lately. But, look, I'll ask you right now, what do you think of the Russos coming back? I think I fucking ranted for ages then. If it's true.
I did it for Alien. If it's true, it's obviously... It's nice to know that this film is in somewhat decent hands. You know?
Yes.
It could have... I think definitely... I think the best solution for this is the Russo brothers, just because it leaves then for the possibilities in the future with these other directors that have worked with Marvel, like Ryan Coogler, to do the X-Men stuff. And then obviously...
It stops the criticism as well, because if they get someone in and it's like... You know, there will be criticism no matter what, but it stops a lot of it. When a lot of people have been saying as well, just bring Russos back, just bring the Russos back. And look, they're willing to do it. So...
Yeah. Hopefully that's the case, I think, personally. I think it's probably the safest and the smart move to make on Marvel's side, so, yeah.
It definitely is the smart move to make, because, look, they're not in that risk-taking position anymore. They need to be playing defense right now. You know, we're coming out, a few little jabs here and there. They know what works, the method that works. And, look, the Russo brothers, my MCU top 10, all of their films are in it. In the top 10. Might even be in the top 7. All of their films. So, when it comes to the Russos working with Marvel, and if we get Marcus and McFeely back involved as well, the writers, I think we're in for a very good time. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get on to our next topic. Look, we're halfway through the year. And there's already been some great films. There's been some films that aren't that great. We are gonna do not a quick, maybe a rundown, a little bit of a discussion of the top 5 best films of the year so far. This is something I did last year, so kind of like a year anniversary onto that video, I guess. But we'll go back and forth from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. So, do you want to kick us off, Kyle? We on number 5?
Yeah, so number 1 is my favourite all time this year. In the
so
top
far
5.
this year.
So far this year, yeah.
But let's be honest, it'll probably be at the end of the year as well.
Yeah, probably. So, as number 5 goes, anyways, Boy Kills World.
Okay.
I remember seeing this trailer just on a whim. I was just sort of scrolling through social media, just looking at memes, I guess, and I came across this trailer. I thought, oh, this looks fucking entertaining. Obviously, with I've forgotten his name now. One of the Skarsgårds.
Bill.
Bill Skarsgård. Yeah. You know, obviously, I've seen him in a couple things before, but this just seemed like a very different kind of, very different from what I'd expect to see him do, if that makes sense. Obviously, you've got the voice work as well in this. The cast is really great. I think this film was, I didn't expect it to be amazing or anything, but it was sort of like how like your Bullet Train was.
Yeah.
It was just like a nice action flick surprise kind of thing. That's why I kind of stand with it. Story wise, it's a little bit all over the place, but it's definitely the action is definitely like, I don't know. I just feel like it's so good. I don't know what to really compare it to. It's like if John Wick is the king of gun fu, then this is like the
John
king
Wick.
of. Yeah, it's like a comedy John Wick without the guns really kind of thing.
Yeah.
Obviously you've got John Benjamin, who's for me, I know him from Bob's Burgers. He's obviously a great voice actor. He's been in loads of different things. But as soon as I heard Bob Burgers' voice in this film, and it's like an action, gory kind of flick, got a bit of that Raimi, stuff to it. Obviously, he's one of the producers.
Like I say, I don't want to cut you off, but so we can talk about it at the same time. Boy Kills World is my 5 as well.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with this film.
Yeah.
Now, my biggest issue with Boy Kills World is the tonal shift at the end. And it goes from being this fun, thingy sort of film, laughing and joking all the way through it, gory, to it kind of takes itself a bit too seriously at the end.
Yeah, it kind of goes a bit fucked up.
Yeah.
It's like trauma. Goes into trauma.
Yes.
But I don't know. I feel like it kind of works. I get what you're saying. It's a tonal shift, but it makes sense for what you see in the film.
Yeah.
And why he's kind of like that.
But what this film marketed itself to be, it didn't disappoint on.
Yeah.
I feel like I was laughing the whole way through this.
Yeah.
Right up until the end.
Even the action as well, like the gore, they don't shy away from it.
She's great.
I'm sick of seeing films where it's like it teases it. It's going to be crazy action. It's not going to hide anything, and then you watch the film and it's just they cut away too quick, or it's fucking dark as hell. This film does not do that. It's just and again, the cast is fantastic. Everyone nails what they have, and they're all really entertaining to watch. Now, but that's my number 5.
Kyle, what are the odds that we have got the same list?
Let me check my phone. Potentially,
right.
I think maybe 1 or 2 might be
shifted.
Might be, yeah.
Right. In fact, I don't know actually. Do you want to do?
You go for your number 4. You go for your 4.
Do you want me to go for my 4, or should we say it at the same time?
Okay.
Okay. So just so we know, we're not.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. On the count of 3. On go, yeah?
Yeah, right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Fall
Kingdom of the
Guy.
Planet of the Apes.
Okay. Right. You go first.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I was very excited, but at the same time, I was so worried about this film.
Yes, you
It's
was.
it's it was honestly like I love the original trilogy of the Planet of the Apes films, the reboot that is. I just thought, how are they gonna do it? Is it gonna is it gonna suck? It didn't, thankfully. I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was amazing. The special effects were amazing. It takes it back a bit, which I don't mind. It takes
Yeah.
it a bit more of a personal story, but I feel like it's building up to something that's going to over. I mean, it's kind of like the original trilogy. Actually, it's quite a small story, if you will, but I feel like it lent itself into a bigger
World,
overarching
yeah.
world that happens with this. Yeah, I feel like it helps us. This film definitely helps introduce you into. I mean, helps reintroduce you into this world and what's sort of changed, but
Yeah.
it's sort of the same as well. Um, Action was pretty good. Nothing to go crazy about, but definitely the effects were phenomenal. The cast again, phenomenal. They absolutely nailed it. The fact that they were able to sort of like continue this on, and with a whole new director, whole
Yeah.
new cast.
Wes Ball killed it with this.
Yeah,
Had a
yeah,
lot, just, I can imagine an immense amount of pressure. Because that first trilogy is near perfect. My
yeah,
favourite trilogy of all time, bias, the Captain America trilogy. I would put the Planet of the Apes trilogy just behind it. It's in quality wise, definitely. But no, my number 4, The Fall Guy. I'm a sucker for David Leitch films. I love this man. Obviously, the co-director of the original John Wick, and he went on to do Deadpool 2, Hobbs and Shaw, Bullet Train, a film I really loved in 22. This might be one of the best love stories I've ever seen. Ryan Gosling is fantastic in this film. Just a quick spoiler, Kyle. Is Fall Guy in your list anywhere, or? No. Okay. Alright. But yeah, Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, killed it in this. And yeah,
I just want to say, it's not because it's the worst film or I think it's a bad film. I just don't think it's as great as these
okay.
as the films in the
No,
list.
list, mate. That's all right. Look, the chemistry worked. The stunt work in it, which is what they highlighted, was great. The comedy was great. This was an overall fun film that didn't get what it deserved. This made no money. When it should have made more. It shouldn't have made all the money in the world, but it should have made more. Because it was great. Look.
I was really surprised that it flopped that hard.
Because I remember us as well. Was we in a full theatre for this?
I don't think it was full, but it
it wasn't empty.
It certainly wasn't empty.
No,
it certainly wasn't
empty.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Look, this is my number 4. It's a fun, sort of different film that maybe if... I don't know if Ryan Gosling went in this, I might have not seen it. If David Leitch wasn't attached to direct, I might have not seen it. I'm glad I did. Aaron Taylor-Johnson in this, fantastic. As that douchebag actor. Winston Duke as well. He's great. I really enjoyed this film, and I'm actually glad.
Well, where would you place it on your David Leitch?
On my Leitch list.
Yeah. Well, all right. What would you place it behind? I'll say that. Or place it ahead.
On my Leitch list, I've got to go with his best film to me. I've got to go Deadpool 2. Because
it's Deadpool.
It's Deadpool, and me, if you are like me, I think the second Deadpool is just as good as the first one. And now, look, that's probably more down to Ryan Reynolds than it is David Leitch, but still, he directed it, so he gets some of the credit for that. And then, obviously, because he co-directed the original John Wick, I'd probably go John Wick. Why am I doing a list within a list? A top 5 list within a top 5 list? That's like 10 walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say, right.
Fuck you, we'll do that another time. It's
We'll
Fall
do that
Guy.
another time. But
Great film.
Right, Bullet Train or Fall Guy, which one would you
Bullet
pick?
Train.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know. That's
Yeah.
all I wanted to know.
But Bullet Train was my favourite film of 22, so...
Yeah.
Right. Kyle, what is your number 3?
My number 3. Again, I knew about this film. It sort of dropped and it was
Are we
a bit
saying
of a
it at the
surprise.
same time again so people don't think... No, we're not, because I know mine will not be... I know mine now will not be the same as yours.
Yeah. It's got to be Civil War.
Okay.
This film, I mean, it's not... the story is a bit harder to sort of get into just because with things and politics and stuff, I don't really know or understand it.
Careful
but it's
what you say right now,
I
especially
will.
with this film, because people's ears are going to be sharp.
Yeah. But I think for me, it was just the whole, the scary reality of it. Like, this could happen. Realistically, this could happen.
Even more so now.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. But for me as well, Kristen Dunst, I've not seen her in... God, what was the last thing I saw her in? It was a long time ago.
Spider-Man.
It wasn't Spider-Man, surprisingly.
All right.
But sorry, my nose is a bit cloggy. But just the sound design and just the suspense and the tension in these scenes, and I kind of like the soundtrack. I think the film has a couple of pacing issues, if you will.
Yeah.
But when it gets to those hard, impacting moments, that's where it's sort of it's got a beating heart. Like the sound. I know we walked out of the cinema. We said our IMAX screen at our local cinema doesn't have the best sound. Don't get me wrong, it's still good.
Yeah.
But this just flexed the muscles of this sound system in our IMAX and really showed what it can do.
I'll speak about Civil War with you because I do love this film. It was so close to making it into my list. It's not in there. Now, look. This film's going to be controversial to talk about right now, but one thing I do want to say is the way this film was shot.
Yeah.
Just jumping on yours for a minute, so I can speak about it for a bit. The way this film was shot, it's beautiful. If you haven't seen it, go and see it. This isn't actually a film I would have recommended to people, but someone who I work with who has said, I don't think it's the film you think it is, and I don't think you'll like it, watched it, and they really liked it. So, maybe
it's not like an crazy action flick. Yeah, it's got a little bit of action in it, but it's not. That's not the point of it. It's sort of it's the reality of it and how sort of it's got that crazy suspense. It's overwhelming.
Yeah,
put it that way. It's hard to.
It is great.
It's hard to see it because it looks so real, kind of thing.
Just missed off my list, but it is great. But anyway, should we talk about my number 3?
No.
Right, that'll do us for today, guys. No. My number 3 is A Quiet Place, Day 1. And I'm guessing, Kyle, that is your number 2.
Wait and see, won't we?
All right. A Quiet Place, Day 1. Now, look, there's some things in this film that I can connect to quite a lot. Obviously, having owned a cat in the past. Look, I love just day one scenarios in general. Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, when they did that first season and it was how the outbreak happened, that was pretty good. I really enjoy stuff like that. I'm not one for, let's leave the mystery of it. I want to see what happened. Maybe that's because I'm stupid. Same with Game of Thrones. I want to see Aegon's conquest. I want to see that stuff. So to see a story like this, which didn't end up being the story I thought it was. It's been out for a while now, we could talk about it. When this story turns into someone trying to give someone the best day of their life at the end of their life, it's beautiful. It is a beautiful story. and I was quite moved by it. And the ending shot in this is fantastic. I don't want to say too much about it, but look, acting all round is great. Joseph Quinn is going to have a big year by the looks of it. He's in Gladiator at the end of the year. He's shooting Fantastic Four this year. He'll be in Fantastic Four next year. Lupita Nyong'o is great in this. And then there's little Easter eggs. You know, there's a nice little connection at the end, and it's like, so you kind of know what happens to this character, and it's like, all right, that's pretty cool. And yeah, the ending, goosebumps when I think about it. But anyway, Kyle, come on, let's get to your number 2. What is it?
So this was a tough cookie.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Did you? Did you? No, you didn't. Wow, he did it. Oh my God, he did it. He actually did it. Oh, he's done what he's fucking done what I thought which I didn't think he's done. He's done what he's thought.
I think I'm doing it. Yeah.
Oh.
So far, at least in my list, my number 2 spot out of the 5 list, my number 2 film of the year so far, if you will. Dune Part 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
He did it.
He's looking for a keyboard. Yeah. Now, what? This was hard. Yeah. This was an easy choice, and you know, that being said,
mate, look at all
it
dust
wasn't
that just
easy
flew
to
out
me.
of that keyboard.
Yeah, that was not right. I'll start again. Dune Part 2. It's my number 2. The reason being, just obviously number 1. I'll talk about that afterwards. But for Dune 2, it was my number 1 film up until my number 1 pick, which we'll get onto. Dune Part 2 is obviously a masterpiece. It's a phenomenal watch. We saw it a good few times in the cinema, me and Callum.
3, was it?
Yeah. I just think, for me, Dune Part 1 and Part 2, if you put them together, then okay, it's at my number 1 spot.
Right. But just
That's
going
where I'll
by
stand
what
with it.
came out on this year. Okay, right. I'll forgive you a little bit for that.
Yeah. Obviously, I can imagine that if you're watching this video, you know probably how great Dune Part 2 is. Go see this film if you haven't seen it. If you love sci-fi, if you love spectacular visuals, you know, go see this film.
See it on the biggest screen you possibly can now, which will be hard now, but it's...
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just buy a big TV and do it that way.
Big TVs are pointless.
But yeah, no, Dune Part 2, obviously, it was phenomenal. It was a great sort of like... It felt like it kind of thrusted us right in. It didn't do that thing of like slowing it down because it's like technically a sequel. It just felt like a Part 2.
It felt like the second part of the first film.
Yeah.
It literally just felt like, all right, now we're at the midway point.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow. That is, Kyle, I commend you for your bravery for your number 2. My number 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Look, I am quite upset we didn't go back and watch this again.
I am too.
And now, thinking about it, and I think a lot of films came out around May, if I remember correctly. I know we had Fall Guy, this. I think it was quite busy, actually. Look, I'm going to echo a lot of the stuff you said. Visual effects in this are great. The guy who plays Noah, wow, fantastic. And I like what it's doing, setting up this bigger world that we've got now. Look, the Freya Allen who does she play? What is it? Why am I saying May? Is it? No. Whoever Freya Allen plays, she does a great job, and she actually stands out in this cast.
Yeah, I think that was one of our worries, is like, oh, okay, this is just going to be like the typical...
It's going to be the repeat of the Nova. It's going to be the repeat of the Nova we got
Yeah,
in
I think.
War.
But that being said, obviously try not to do the spoilers. I think up until the end of the film, that feeling didn't really go away. Up until the end of the film, I was like, oh my god. Looking back now
Yes.
at the character in the film,
all the non-verbal
May,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, it just it has a lot of impact, and obviously Kevin Durand as
Yes,
Proximus Caesar.
Proximus.
Wow.
Proximus Caesar. Yes.
Again, don't want to spoil it, but I want more of him. That's all I'll say.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a wonderful day.
Yeah. Just even in the trailers when we was actually, before the film even came out, I remember just seeing like Proximus and just the little bits you get of him in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the one gripe I'd say is we didn't get enough of Proximus in the film.
Punt human is wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Wow. Okay. So we're going into a bit of a something I didn't think we were going to be doing. Kyle.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's fine, mate. Your list is your list. And if you want your list to be wrong, that's fine. What is your number one film of the year?
You motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
So again, this was very difficult to choose between this and Doom Part 2. I give the number one spot. Another thing, I give the reason for it being my number one spot is I was not looking forward to this film at all. My number one pick.
You don't. All right, I was gonna thought you was gonna say Madam Web. Then I was like, you fucking.
I was gonna say that, but
so 45 minutes of it. I can only imagine what the rest were like. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so A Quiet Place, day one. I know you was hot on this when we walked out. Look, we saw, we did a review, we didn't manage to get it up, but looking back at it now, I'm pretty sure you said in that video, you looked at me and you went, this might be my favourite film of the year. Now that it's coming back to me, so...
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I think for me it's just the whole thing of, like, again, Doom Part 1, Doom Part 2, together, it would be my number one this year, if that was the case. But this film surprised the fuck out of me. I was not really looking forward to it, just because it felt like it was just gonna take it to an action type of thing, and I was like, it's just gonna be them running about the city. It's probably gonna have loads of pacing issues. The trailers weren't great for me, at least. Obviously, this is John Krasinski's franchise. This is his baby, and he's not directing it. This is the first, it's the third film in this franchise, and Krasinski isn't directing. Obviously, he's got producing credits and things like that, but it's a new director. I just was not looking forward to this film. I really wasn't.
So do you think it's the fact that it's really went above and beyond your expectations, why you're placing it so high? Or just because of the quality? Because the quality of the film is there. It's spectacular.
Yeah, no, I'd say it's... I think it's... for me, the expectation I had was, like, on the floor. It wasn't disastrous, but it wasn't anywhere near what the film actually was.
Yeah.
It blew the roof off. It was phenomenal. I love that film. The film itself, the fact that it nailed the urban setting, that's what I love. I love the urban settings. I love these sort of like day one scenarios. That's what I love about it. A thing I like to mention whenever I've spoke about this before is Cloverfield, the first one with the shaky cam footage. It's a little jarring. I kind of get used to it, but I fucking really enjoy that film. I love that film. I'd pick that film over any of the disaster films that we get. Like, a lot of them are shite. They're entertaining to watch, don't get me wrong, but Cloverfield just took it to a level where I'm like, I really, really like this.
Sorry, I'm just thinking of, like, someone who doesn't have a accent watching this, and we're just going, yeah, that was shite.
Yeah. It was shite. Yeah, no, it was a nice surprise, and again, it kind of reminded me of that Cloverfield thing. Again, Cloverfield, I love the first Cloverfield film. I love the second one. The third one is fucking horrible. But, again, that's the type of... If they're doing apocalypse stuff, I love day one urban setting.
Yeah.
And it just nailed it.
Okay.
And I can't lie, it hit me hard on the feels.
It hit me hard, very hard on the feels. Right. Should we get on to my number one? Come on, what's the generic white boy said? Kyle, drum roll.
What is it?
Kyle, drum roll, please. Madam Web. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. Joke's too easy. Joke's too easy to tell.
You're not funny.
I am. Actually, Kyle, I would disagree. A lot of people find me funny, especially when they first meet me.
Is it My Spy, Eternal City?
No, it's not. It's definitely
Monkey Man.
No, which was nearly on the list.
That's surprising. Sorry, yeah, I'm surprised that Monkey Man wasn't actually on your list.
Yeah, I don't know why we're being suspenseful about this. So it's Doom Part 2.
Yeah.
It's such a... Honestly, look, I don't know what I can say about Doom Part 2, which I haven't said already. This film is amazing. It really is the definition of a modern masterpiece. That's something I'd have said about Mad Max Fury Road 10 years ago when that first came out. I'm saying it about Doom Part 2 as well. One thing I will say is Furiosa were nearly on my list. I know you didn't like it.
I had a feeling it wouldn't be on your list.
Yeah, look, there's just other things that have shined more than Furiosa this year to me. But yeah, look, Doom Part 2, you've all seen it. It made a lot of money. It's fantastic. Timothée Chalamet, I think, at least deserves an Oscar nom for this. Especially, when did this film come out? March? It's July? I won't spoil it. Especially after he's taken the water of life, is it? The blue... He's taken the blue juice, and he's like, I'm the Duke of Arrakis, and you all better follow me to kill the Emperor. Hell yeah. And that's how that film goes. Anyway, yeah, Doom Part 2. So just a quick rundown of our list, Kyle. Yours, in order, please.
So number 5, we've got Boy Kills World. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at number 4. Civil War at number 3. Doom Part 2 as my 2. And number 1, A Quiet Place, Day 1.
And alright for my top five of the year so far. Boy Kills World at number 5. The Fall Guy at number 4. Quiet Place Day 1 at number 3. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at number 2. And Doom Part 2 at number 1. Yeah. So, yeah. Right.
Let us know what your top 5 are in the comments, if you will. It'd be interesting to see.
Let us
feel free to give us...
your top 5 for the rest of the year that you haven't seen yet. Rank them already. If you get ahead of it, then you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it later in the year.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, right. So let's get on to our final topic. The boys.
Oh, it's gonna be a quick one tonight, all 30 minutes.
Sure. Oh no.
I'm gonna read the text. Where are we?
Don't read it word for word, mate. Especially my texts.
I got some stuff for tonight. We could smash it out in 30. Get your list. Top 5. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 30 minutes, my ass.
30 minutes on the top 5, that's what I meant.
Hey, we're doing a big chunky show. We haven't done one in a while, so.
Right. The Boys, season finale. Few things that I want to say first. Why the fuck is that there? Right. Let's get it out in the open. The Boys, season 4, episode 8. Spoilers. Right. First thing I'm going to say is The Boys season 4 the weakest season of The Boys? Do you know what? Yeah, I'd say it is. But Does that mean it's a bad season? No, I think this season was still fucking fantastic. And what I'll say is, a season of The Boys has not ever left me. And it's not because of what you think, it's because of the post-credit scene. It's the stuff before. A season of The Boys has never finished like this and left me thinking, I actually can't wait for the next season. I need it now. This is the only time it's happened with this show for me. I've always liked it and thought, well, next season's going to be good. But the way it left it, I was like, oh, wow, I need season 5 yesterday. So
what I'll say to this is I agree with you. I don't think it's the strongest season.
I'd say it's the weakest.
I'd say it's the weakest. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
It's still fantastic.
It's still a great bit of TV to watch. If you love these characters already, you know these characters, watch it. It's a hell of a time. It's a blast. The thing I'm kind of forgiving it because we've had already 3 great seasons in the past. I forgive this season for not being the strongest because of what it does. We get introduced to a new character and an original character, if I'll say as well, Sage. She was fucking great. And
especially that last scene. That last scene with her was fantastic.
It felt a little rushed, though, I'll say that. It felt just a bit quick. But the whole ending of this episode did feel quite quick. It was... How can I put it? Firecracker as well. She was really entertaining. I don't really see much point in her character. She is very entertaining to watch, especially when it comes to the Homelander stuff. But other than that, I think Sage is still... What?
You sick fuck.
No, I'm just saying it's entertaining. Like,
I bet it is.
Boys, yeah. Not like that, you fucking dirty bastard. No, but one thing, this is one of the things that I'm going to say as well, is that it introduces a new character, and it doesn't kill them off.
Yeah.
Both
still there.
I guess, yeah. Obviously, spoilers again, Soldier Boy is alive. He wasn't technically killed off.
Yes.
But, he was still sort of like made absent from this.
Which is my criticism. My criticism for this season has been, every couple of episodes, it's like, I'm missing Soldier Boy, man. I'm missing Soldier Boy. He really brought something to this.
This show is really sort of like every season has been sort of like this consistent, say quality and sort of like
increase,
pacing.
Yeah, and it's been. I think it's got better and better and better, and then this has been.
I'll say this. No, I'll say this. So it goes up and up and up and up, but then this season if you will, it'll stay flat.
All right.
Or it dips down. It dips down just a smidge.
Yeah.
Just a smidge. But I felt like it was more of a build-up season.
Yeah. Now look, we heard going into this that this was a slower paced season. Yeah. Now. And a lot of people
and obviously season 5 will be the final.
The final. So this is really... This whole season is a... look at it as like a penultimate episode of like... This is it. This is it. Right. All the pieces are on the board to play in season 5. And I am so excited for season 5. Now, what did you think of the... Butcher is Venom sort of stuff?
Fucking great. I remember just watching that this morning, and I was eating my breakfast, and Newman gets torn in half, and I had to sort of like replay that because that was it was gory and brutal, but it was just the way she moves when she's like ripped in half. She's still like she's like and then when she gets ripped in half, she's like shaking, like having like a shock, and I'm like, that's fucking. I didn't like that.
How strong is that then?
Brutal.
Because Homelander lasered her at the beginning of the episode to prove that she's a soap. How strong are them fucking tentacles?
Pretty fucking strong,
They
man.
ripped Ezekiel apart. fucking look. This is now, which I've said before. It's with the Kessler stuff with Butcher. They can really go down a different part of the comic route with it, which I like. But there's also a part there as well which it can go back on. Now, look, Ryan in this episode, it's been back and forth, back and forth. We're winning him over, goes back to his dad. We're winning him over, goes back to his dad. Grace were pushing too hard there. Pushing way too hard. Your dad's a rapist, and it's like, we're going to keep you locked in here.
I'll say this as well, like, with the, Butcher and Kessler and his mindset. Overall, I thought, when's he going to snap? When's he going to break? Because it kind of feels pointless having, Kessler there and the whole thing of that being there.
And then that perfect breaking opportunity happened, and it was, you just see it.
Yeah.
It's...
Yeah. It was, again, not the best season, but, this episode was a nice sort of like setup.
And look,
the whole season felt like a nice setup.
I don't want to compare this like the Mandalorian Season 3, where we say, look, Mandalorian Season 3 was like a bit of a step down, a bit of a disappointment. It was still good, but it wasn't as good as the other seasons. I wouldn't say this is a disappointment. It's still a fucking great season. It's just, without being horrible, it's the worst season, but it's a great season of TV. It's still better than most stuff on TV right now. It's just, this season just wasn't as good as the others, and that's it. Not all of them are going to be, but I'm pretty confident that season 5 is set up for
like a massive,
What do you think the odds are?
We said midway quickly. We said midway through the season is that like, oh no, season 5 now is we didn't even know sort of like fully what they were going to do, obviously because half of the season was only out. But we could tell that season 5 was going to be like, this is going to be big.
Yeah.
This is going to be the ultimate sort of pinnacle point for this show.
Now, look, I still think this season has the second best episode of the show in it as well. With the Homelander going back down to the place you were raised. That stuff were fantastic. I was just going to say this. What do you think the odds are we get a announcement of The Boys season 5 is 10 episodes? Or The Boys...
I don't think it'll be 10 episodes. I really think it'll be cut down to maybe 7.
7? Okay.
Yeah. Just for the whole where the characters are kind of left, that's where they sort of...
Yeah.
That's where they can create episodes for. They can create episodes for these characters being, locked up and they're not together.
Yeah.
This will be them sort of forming, and then they can get to the climactic ending of it.
Everyone bitching that fucking Kimiko and Frenchie weren't together.
Mm.
They did it. They clearly had to push them as far away as they could to bring them closer together. And it worked quite well, quite beautifully. And Kimiko, she's speaking at the end. When Frenchie's been taken by Kate. And Sam's holding her back. The Gen V characters. And she's going, no. Is she going, no? What's she saying?
I think so. I was just so... Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And poor MM.
I mean...
Poor MM.
Yeah. Getting dick slapped.
Literally dick slapped. He's had too many run-ins with that penis. So, yeah. Look, a couple more things. What else do we want to run over? Anthony Starr, great as always. When he kicks off with Ryan, I was like, this is it, this is the end. And clearly that didn't fucking work. But look, overall, how would you rate season 4 of The Boys out of 10?
$7.5.
I'm going to ride along with you on that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Not the best season of the show, but it's still great. Which is when you can say something like that about a show. It's like, they've got to be doing something right.
Mm.
You know, even if it's not the best season, but it's still great. So, yeah. Right.
You still get those comments saying like, "Oh, it's fucking
It's
the boys
falling
has gone
off.
shit." Yeah.
As soon as it got political. Were you not watching from the beginning, mate? Anyway.
Apparently not.
Kyle, all you want to add before we go?
No.
No? Okay. Right. Holy shit, is that the time? Okay, fuck. Right, thanks for watching, guys. And we will see you maybe when we talk about House of the Dragon, and we're going to have some videos in between. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you later.